Hello, and welcome to today's broadcast. Today we are going to be talking about fasting protocols, and I am going to help you, hopefully, determine a fasting protocol or a length of time in which you should be fasting. So protocols are basically just time frames that people kind of ran some studies and tests on, and they attached a name and a ratio to them. And we really do have the opportunity and the permission, I guess, to create our own protocols. So that's what I'm going to be going over today. And I'm going to share with you guys some of the protocols that I really like to teach here in this community and how I have renamed protocols so that they work with the mindset that I'm trying to create around the life that I want to live. So welcome if you're joining us new. My name is Diane. I am the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. Here in this community, we practice all things intermittent fasting so that we can look and feel our best and live our most authentic life. So let's talk about protocols, or just in general what fasting is. And do me a favor, in the comment section, let me know what protocol or time frame you feel most confident fasting at. So put that in the comment section. Just put the hours that you feel most confident fasting at, and that way I'll kind of know where we are in our audience here. So a classic fast, or what a fast is just putting yourself into an environment chemically and hormonally where you're not interrupting your body chemistry. We talk about that a lot here in this community. So it's a period of time that you are choosing not to change what your body is doing on the inside chemically and hormonally. So that's what a fast is. It's just taking away food or insulin opportunities to occur in your body. Basically, that's all it is. So a classic fast is literally just water only. It's just having water within a certain amount of time frame, and you're consciously not putting anything in your body that's going to disrupt what your body knows how to do on its own. That's a fast. What we have done as a society, and what a lot of people have done through scientific research and just experimentation, is have created protocols. So a protocol is, for fasting purposes, is how long you're going to fast and how long you're going to feast. And in intermittent fasting, that's within that 24-hour window. So within a 24-hour time frame, you're going to set up a fasting protocol that's going to designate a fasting window and a feasting window. That's all fasting protocols are. Where the ratios of fasting to feasting have come up, like I said, have just been in communities of people who have found a time frame that worked for them, and they slap a name on it, and that's what everybody sort of follows. So let's talk about the 16-8. So the 16-8 has a name. I forget what it's called industry-wise because I have renamed it the convenience fast. And the reason I have renamed the 16-8 the convenience fast is because that's what I really like to teach or coach women on, and what I like to use myself for memory making moments. So I really, really do like to emphasize that we as women do not give up memory making moments because of a pre-designated fasting window. So if your old college roommate flies into town and she says, hey, let's meet for lunch, and the first thought in your mind is like, oh my gosh, I can't meet you for lunch because I have to fast, that's not allowing yourself to have memory making moments. We really do want to create protocols that adapt to the lifestyle that we choose to live and will ultimately make us happy for a lifetime. Because remember, we're creating a lifestyle. We're not living within the time confines of what a diet typically is. So convenience fasts do allow for memory making opportunities. So you're just going to fast for 16 hours. So if you have plans the next day, you can change what you're doing in your feasting window to accommodate an opportunity for you to open up a window to have lunch with your friends, right? We often use this when we go on vacation. And I've shared here before, when I go on vacation, I have what is called boundaries around when I travel. So I take advantage of travel days going there and travel days coming back as long fasting opportunities. So I don't bring anything, I don't buy anything, and I don't accept anything on my travel day. That frees me up to set myself up for a convenience fast for the duration of my vacation, and I don't feel like I'm not allowed to eat food or participate in social activities when I'm on vacation or socializing. So the 16-8 is a 16-hour fasting window, an 8-hour feasting window, and we can use that for memory making moments. So it's just super convenient for us. We still get to fast, but we also get to have an opportunity to partake in our life. Then there's what I call fasting and fitness. Fasting and fitness is what I really have renamed for me as a runner and someone who likes to do like endurance type activities. I found that when I was in this window, I wasn't allowing myself enough time in a fasted state to really reap all the benefits. And I found for some workout days, this was just too long. So an 18-6 is what I schedule when I want to take advantage of my fasting and feasting window, but I also want to reap the benefits and feel really good when I'm working out. So that's what I call an 18-6 or a fasting and fitness. So it just opens up my feasting window to allow more nutrients in my body so that I can still sustain what I want to do with my fitness. And then there's the energized sense of calm. That's what I teach mostly here in this community. That is the 20-hour fast with the 4-hour feast. We call that the sweet spot. And when you're really dialed into that energized sense of calm and you're really dialed into those 20 hours in your fasted state, you reap all the benefits of what fasting can do for you as far as reversing the signs of aging, reversing insulin resistance, reversing type 2 diabetes, clearing all the fog out of your brain, and you have an abundance of energy that just makes you feel calm as you're going through your day. So this, the energized sense of calm or the 20-hour fast and the 4-hour feast, is what I really recommend for women who are feeling very frustrated with the way they're aging, feeling very frustrated with the way their body's transitioning into menopause, frustrated with your inability to lose weight, autoimmune disorders. All of those things can really be beneficial in the energized sense of calm with the 20-hour fast and the 4-hour feast. And then there's also what I call the dinner to dinner, also known in the fasting protocol world as the 1 meal a day fast. I know for me, when I think about only eating 1 meal a day, it causes a little bit of angst when I think about what that is, just eating once a day. But when I think about going from dinner to dinner, that sort of eases the anxiety of really fasting for 23 hours and opening up my feasting meal for 1. And it gives me that thought process or that mindset around I'm going to enjoy dinner with my family while I take advantage of that longer fasting period. So dinner to dinner is really how I like to reframe a 1 meal a day. So oftentimes you'll see a OMAD in the fasting community, and that just stands for 1 meal a day. I just call it dinner to dinner. It usually works out to about a 23-hour fast. You have literally 1 meal, which is what I designate as dinner with my family, and then I go right back into the next fasting opportunity. So any questions here, put those in the comment section. I'll make sure I get them answered for you. These are just brackets of time within a day where you're going to choose to feast and you're going to choose to fast. This is just taking up, if you add this up, all of this adds up to 24. We're just breaking up our 24-hour day into 2 windows. The longer time frame is always the fasting window. The shorter time frame is always the feasting window. So we know that when we're in that fasted state or that longer period of time, that allows our body to use what's in storage. So it's not that you're not really eating, you're just not eating anything new, and you're providing an opportunity for your body to consume nutrients that you have in storage. I call it going to the pantry for your meals throughout the day, right? And so it is that storage and that backup that we have accumulated through all of these years of over consuming that we give our body the opportunity to tap into and use as storage. So what I want you to understand, especially if you're struggling with finding the results with what it is that you're doing with fasting, fasting works for just about everyone. What we have to do is create the mindset and the understanding of what our body is doing when we take a step back and just stop interfering with it, right? So if we take a step back and we stop interfering with our body is doing, our body is going to do this because that's what it knows how to do best. So if you're not seeing the results with fasting, regardless of what window you're in, it's probably because you're blocking your body's ability to tap into storage and use that as energy. When you tap into something that's in storage, visualize your pantry or your refrigerator. When you take things out, it becomes bare, right? You see less of what you put in originally. Same thing happens to your body. If you're taking out of storage more than you're storing, then what happens is you empty things out, and that's when we start to reverse the signs of aging. We can get into weight loss. We can start utilizing fat efficiently, get rid of hormonal belly fat. All of those things magically happen when we create this environment. But you have to have a basic understanding of the chemistry and the hormonal changes in order to be most effective at this. So I always say, when in doubt, fast it out, right? So when you're in a situation where you're considering whether you should eat something, I always want you to ask yourself, how is that going to serve me? And what is my big goal that I'm trying to achieve? Because we think when we feel fatigued, or when we feel tired, or when we feel stressed, or when we feel unsure, or when we feel cold, or when we feel a cold coming on, or anything that we feel, we think that we are supposed to satisfy that feeling with food. But what if we could retrain ourselves to fast it out and see how that new feeling is, and see if we can start remedying some of these things that are just little like tugs at us, or inconveniences, or little stressors that we feel. What if we created the mindset that when in doubt, fast it out, so that we give our body extra time to utilize what's in storage for us? So your body will feast on what you have in storage. Storage is the problem that most of us women have when we are starting to have these hormonal changes, because we have not trained our body to do this yet. We have trained our body to depend on us to give it what it wants when it starts to have a temper tantrum, like that feeling of hunger, or that fatigue feeling, or that yearning for something to eat. That's just a body that's not trained to survive in a fasted state. So we have to train it to go to storage, and not to send us those little pingy kind of uncomfortable feelings that we then decide we should feast. When in doubt, we should always fast it out, and then see how that feels for us. So the most important thing to understand is that intermittent fasting is not a diet. So you're not going to do it for 30 days and hope that your whole entire life and all your problems are going to go away. Intermittent fasting is really just a timing thing. And as long as you adhere to the timing aspect of intermittent fasting, you will always reap the results. So the timing thing does really go back to this. How do you want to live your life? How do you want to practice? How do you want to practice showing up for memory-making moments? How do you want to practice showing up for your fitness goals? How do you want to feel when you're in a fast state? What kind of problems or things that you're currently not happy with that's going on with your body do you want to reverse? And how quickly do you want to reverse those things? And this might be the place that you spend the most time, with allowing yourself opportunities to do this when the opportunity presents itself. And then on occasion, maybe you don't have a whole lot going on and you can swing it out to this time frame. What holds everyone up with this is how you feel about going without, and how you feel about how you use food in your everyday life. When you can get those two things sorted out, which are basically how you determine the protocols, this will be easy peasy, because you will understand the net end result of the choices that you are going to make. So if you are a woman who's practicing a 16-8 protocol and you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results, it could be that this protocol is just not a deep enough fasting opportunity for you to reap the benefits. You can either stick with this consistently for a longer period of time, or you can switch to a longer fasting window that's going to yield you results sooner, as long as you stay consistent with it. So all of these just create an opportunity for your body to utilize storage before you create a new feasting opportunity. The longer you stay in a fasted state, the more opportunity you have for your body to pull out of storage what you're not happy with before you enter into that feasting window. It's all about the timing aspect, and then having a clear understanding of what your body chemistry and what your body hormonally is doing as soon as you put something in your mouth. So this is super simple to understand when you understand it from the aspect of chemistry and hormones, and we take it out of the aspect of dieting, and we take it away from the losing weight aspect. Your body will not lose weight until your hormones are balanced out, until your body is correctly processing the chemical reactions of a feasting opportunity. That's when we start to lose weight. That's when we start to regain our lean muscle mass. That's when we start to feel better. But it takes time because we have been training our body the wrong way for a very long time. For me, it was about 48 years. I was training my body to utilize what I was doing in my feasting window completely wrong. And I had a lot of that I had to reverse and unpack before I could get to the place where I could reap the benefits. And I always give myself the opportunity to stay in this window if I'm not here or I'm not here. And occasionally I'll hang out here. Super, super cool way to look at things. Just make choices based on the lifestyle you want to live in and how you will be happy with fasting long, feasting well, and training smart. I hope that clears things up for you guys. Let me look at the questions and see what we're looking at as far as fasting protocols and any questions you guys have. So Jackie, 18.6, awesome. I hope you're seeing results with your 18.6. Holly, 16.8 is where I guess that's where you're fasting. Kristen, hello from Colorado. Wendy, I love your talks. I'm 60 years old and have just got into my granddaughter's clothes. Girlfriend, that is so awesome. I know my kids freak out all the time when if they're with me when we're clothes shopping, because I shop in like the preteen section and they think that that's totally inappropriate. Christine, you start with the shake and then meal in that hour. Okay, if you're talking about this protocol, the dinner to dinner, I would just have one meal. So a lot of the problems women are having also is you think that you're still chasing calories, and if you really understand this aspect of things, this is calories, right? They're just calories that are in storage. So you don't have to meet any specific calorie demand every single day to reap benefits from fasting. If you're chasing a caloric intake in your feasting window that you as the person have decided is appropriate for you because someone else told you or some chart or something, and you're not feeling the need for that food, that's classic overeating, and that's what we've been doing our whole life. So you just have one meal and then you let your body do the rest in the storage with the time that you have. I hope that answers that question. So I never ram food into a feasting window because I've fasted longer. I fast longer and then take advantage of what I can do in that shortened feasting window. So it's all a mindset shift for sure. Wendy, I have had bulletproof coffee twice today and a couple of apple cider vinegar drinks. Does that alter my insulin? I don't know what you put in your bulletproof coffee, so I don't know. And it all kind of depends on what your goals are. So I would have to know more before I can tell you that for sure. And then Wendy, I'm still in a fast. I'm at 25 hours and not hungry at all. Yeah, you're not hungry because you did the bulletproof coffee, but you don't know if the bulletproof coffee actually altered your body chemistry or your hormones in a way that might not yield you the results that you're looking for. So just because you're not hungry doesn't mean that you're going to get the results that you're hoping for. Chrissy, I thrive in 24. I do too, girlfriend. 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of feasting is really the sweet spot. And I always say, if you ever want to feel super energized and just like reset yourself, that 20-hour fast is the best place for sure. Michelle, 24, awesome. Candy, is intermittent fasting safe for diabetics? Safe isn't a word that I can say yes or no because I'm not a doctor. So I always recommend if you're diabetic or you are on some sort of medication, you should always have a conversation with your doctor. But the reason we're diabetic is because we're not intermittent fasting and we have put ourselves in an insulin responsive situation all day, every day for multiple years of our lives. And so we end up becoming insulin resistant, and then we become diabetic, and then ultimately we become Alzheimer's patients. So if you're diabetic, it's usually the result of over consuming food frequently throughout the day. And the best way to reverse diabetes is to what I call drain the tanks and put yourself in that storage utilization place so that you reverse the backup and then your body flows freely and then you become more insulin responsive or metabolically flexible is the ultimate goal. So I was a pre-diabetic on my way to becoming a diabetic, and I caught it just in time. And I used intermittent fasting to reverse all of that. So you can reverse diabetic states with just changing your lifestyle for sure. Oftentimes the advice you get from a doctor or even some nutritionist is absurd when you think about what the end result is supposed to be with diabetes. So I would always check with your doctor, then do a bunch of research, and then determine what's going to be best for you in the life that you want to live. But we've had many diabetics in our community reverse that for sure. Maureen, 16.8 and sometimes 18.6. Awesome. Hope you're getting the results you're hoping for. Donna, unless you are a type 1 diabetic, that is autoimmune. Yes, for sure. Carrie, can you fast longer with no issues like 36 hours? So the no issues part is personal. But yes, you can totally fast for longer than what would be deemed intermittent fasting. So there's extended fasting and prolonged fasting. Some people fast for days. I always say that the extent in which you fast is very personality driven. I love food and I love sharing dinner experiences with my family. So at the stage and season of life that I'm in, I do not enjoy longer than a 24-hour or 23 type of fast, because I miss out on too much of my life. So I've been able to be very content with my results with just fasting predominantly in the 24 window, occasionally going longer and sometimes going shorter for sure. But yeah, the issues would be you and determining how you feel during a 36-hour fast. A Pumpkin Girl 1950, is it okay to go back and forth between the different fasting time plans or to find one that works best and mainly stick to that? So it all depends on what you're trying to achieve. When I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic and I felt really sick with everything that was going on with my insulin, I fasted for 20 hours and feasted for 4. I used that protocol for an entire year. And I always say like my life depended on it, because I felt that it did. I had so much to undo and unpack in my body and what was going on that I just did it for an entire year. And I'm sure there was some days that I went a little less or maybe even a little bit more, but that was my primary goal, to reverse everything that was ailing me. And I had been insulin resistant for a very long time. It just didn't, rise up to being diagnosed with anything. And I had been hypoglycemic my entire life, even as a very young girl. So I had a lot of sugar issues I had to unpack. So yeah, the flexibility part is really when you create a lifestyle around intermittent fasting, and you shouldn't shoot for things to be perfect every single day. But what you should shoot for is a protocol that makes sense for you based on what it is that you want to do. And the more time that you do spend in a longer fasted state, the faster your results will come, because you will have more opportunity to pull out of storage. So it all just depends on how quickly you want to see the results for sure. I usually don't eat for one full day. Carrie, yeah. So yeah, if that works for you, that I think there's like alternate day fasting as well, where people alternate between fasting days and feasting days. For me, the 24 works really well, like I said, because it allows me time to be present with my family at dinner time. And as an ex-dieter, dinner time was usually the meal that I missed with my family because I'd already consumed all my calories for the day. And so I have really enjoyed this protocol because, like I said, it does reverse all the things that were really ailing me. It makes me feel my absolute best because of the energized sense of calm that I get from the 20-hour fast. And then it allows me to just be social as well, because I tend to be more socially active in the evening than I am during the day. And then I just build this in when we go on vacation or when we're doing something socially earlier in the day. And then I use this when I'm pushing a little bit harder with what I'm doing in my fitness. And then I just jump right back to this. This is my norm right here. And occasionally I do this one. So yeah, it's pretty easy to jump back and forth. It's that thing that, we want to make sure that we're living a very healthy, emotionally and mentally mindset around all of these type of things, because we don't want to put ourselves in a place where we're feeling like we're depriving ourselves. So as long as you're feeling confident and energized and that you have a good thought process around it, the protocol that you choose to fast in is really determined by you. I just want you guys to understand that if you're not getting the results, it's not this in general terms. It could just be this. And the fact that you haven't found the window that you can stick with consistently over a long enough period of time to see the results that you're hoping for. And then with anything, where you see the results is where you want to live. So if you're seeing results in an 18.6, going back to a 16-8, you might lose the results that you saw here just because that's the way your body chemistry works the best. And so that's why I say this one right here for me is always my go-to fasting window, because that's where I always see the best results. I just use these when needed. And I hope that helps with you guys as well. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions or comments. Allison, I am on a 1 meal a day group, and so many people say they plateau with that protocol. Is there any need to vary to make sure the metabolism doesn't get stuck? Plateau is, again, it's one of those things that is such a different meaning for so many people. And oftentimes what I find when I'm coaching women is that a plateau is more of an unrealistic expectation of the end goal, and it's not really that anything is stopped. I always recommend flexibility. And so if you're a strict 1 meal a day person and you never ever sway from that and you're not seeing and feeling the results, I always say, look at what it is you're doing in your fast, because results are also, usually the condition of what it is you're feasting on. And some of those things could be problematic for you and you haven't identified them yet. And then switching things up does kind of put your body into shock. So having an extra meal every now and then and just trying that out might be that thing that could kind of just kickstart something for you as well. Or going longer than 1 meal a day could be something that you could do as well. So everyone plateaus because our body is constantly adjusting and shifting. Your body is never going to respond the same way to the same thing forever. So just go with the flow of it and know that a plateau just means that your body's resting before it fixes the next thing. It's never a bad thing. So make sure you have a healthy mindset around that as well. And then Lori, do you still break your fast with the shake? And when do you do 1 hour eating window? So yes, I still break my fast with a shake. Again, that's one of those things that when I'm breaking my fast in my normal routine, I always break it with a fast and then I have a meal. If I'm going to do dinner with my family, I skip my shake because I'm doing this so that I can have dinner with my family. And then when I'm here, I just have more meals than just a shake and dinner. So these will vary up into probably some snacking or something like that in there. And then when I do my 1 hour eating window, I just reserve that for dinner for my family so I don't miss them. Heather, I was able to get my hot flashes under control with 24. With COVID and hubby around eating lunch, I have had 16-8 quite often. The flashes are snarking back. 24 is the best for me. Yeah, for sure. And that's that thing when we make accommodations for other people. And I know COVID is one of those really unusual situations. We have to go back and ask ourselves, like, how is that working for me? And I'm glad that you've identified that window wasn't as beneficial for you as the 24. The 20-hour fast and the 4-hour feast has proven in this community. We've had over 6,000 women graduate from our course. Lots of women watch these videos and come back and report the same type of results from the changes that they've made as well. That 20-hour fasting window is the window that is reaping the best benefits for reversing what we're not happy with going through perimenopause into menopause and then postmenopausal as well. So if you're not getting the results that you're hoping for, I always say, when in doubt, fast it out. Go into a deeper fast and see if that might be something that's going to kind of kickstart something for you and help you get the results that you're hoping for. So I hope this helps you. If you're watching and you're feeling frustrated, know that these are not necessarily set in stone. There's also nothing wrong with a 17-7 fasting window or an 18:30 and 5:30 feasting window. These do not have to be on the dot, especially once you're really mature in your fasting and your feasting. Play with it, right? But just make sure that when you break your fast, if you're trying to build in discipline and you're trying to build in that new boundaries with your body and train your body in a fasted state and really control your hunger hormones, consistency here is really going to be your best bet, and really sticking to what it is that you say you want for yourself. Doing this, and then when you start seeing the results you're hoping for, then when you start seeing things that are reversing for you, then you can play around with some things because your mindset will be in a different place, right? If we play around with these fasting and feasting windows and we're not getting the results that we want, then our mindset goes to that negative place of like, oh, fasting's not working for me. No, fasting works for everyone. if you hit it off with the right mindset and you're consistent over a long enough period of time to see the results, and then you just establish it as a lifestyle to maintain those results for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna head out. Remember, if you are interested in taking a course on this, I teach all of this in depth. I talk about the chemistry, the hormonal changes, why it is things happen when we break our fast, what it is you're feeling like when you're in your feasting window in my Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course. The next one starts this Friday, or starts on Saturday actually, but we close registration on Friday. I would love the opportunity to spend some time with you in class and teach you why all of this is important so that you can eventually reap the results that you're hoping for. All the information about joining is in the description boxes. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you feel like you have another question that comes up about this, always come back and leave it in the comment section. I review them over the next 24 hours or so, and I'll get your questions answered for you for sure. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I'll see you back here on Monday.